As Newcastle dismantled Everton, Eddie Howe's plan to surge in the Premier is in full effect.
I can see what they're doing, what he's doing. I can see it, I feel it. He's cooking.
So from the real impact of Ramsdale, to the record-breaking Chow, to the Wonder Kid reminder, to the Elanga resurgence, and the 6'6" weapon. As per, join us as we'll break it all down and discuss the 5 things we learned from Newcastle United 4 Everton 1.
Let's go!
We first learned about the Ramsdale impact, one that has quietly reopened a debate many thought was already settled. Aaron Ramsdale stepped in for Newcastle United's 4-1 win over Everton on Saturday, but the decision was not as ruthless as it first appeared. Nick Pope had suffered a groin injury, and Eddie Howe stopped short of confirming whether Pope would have started had he been fully fit. Either way, Ramsdale took his chance with real authority. He brought a calm confidence to the defensive line and produced a superb save to deny James Garner in the first half, while his distribution was excellent throughout. With a 6.7 match rating, his heat map showcased a goalkeeper who was not afraid to step forward and play aggressively with the ball, almost functioning as an additional outfield player at times. What stood out most was how transformative Ramsdale was in possession. There was no hesitation from the defenders to play the ball back to him, no uncertainty about what would happen next, and no fear about losing control. His passing was sharp, brave, and technically secure. The clearest example came in the second half when he fizzed a 40-yard ball along the ground that completely sliced through Everton's press and almost led to a goal. Even earlier, with 2 safe and simple options available, he chose the more progressive one by drilling the ball low and precisely into Harvey Barnes's feet. Barnes controlled it instantly, played a 1-2 with Joelinton, and Newcastle was suddenly in behind. One pass, and Everton's entire structure was broken. That level of bravery gives Newcastle an extra man in the build-up and finally aligns with Howe's ambition to evolve the team into a more controlled, possession-dominant side. There is little point in transforming the entire system if the goalkeeper cannot distribute effectively, and this is where Ramsdale showed the qualities that made him a Team of the Year selection in the 2022-2023 season. Despite that, it is still unclear whether Ramsdale will keep his place once Pope returns to full fitness. Howe has remained loyal to Pope despite a run of high-profile errors, and Sky Sports' Keith Downey offered interesting insight into Howe's thinking after speaking with him one-on-one for a Christmas feature. Downey admitted that Howe seemed slightly surprised when told that almost every Newcastle fan returning from Marseille felt Ramsdale deserved a chance in goal. Perhaps the manager had not fully grasped how strong the fan sentiment had become, especially after Pope's struggles in possession. Context remains important, however. Ramsdale's impressive outing came against a poor Everton side who never truly tested him, while Pope's last Premier League appearance came against a Manchester City team led by Erling Haaland. Ramsdale made 1 save, 1 high claim and 5 recoveries while conceding a single goal. Pope, in contrast, made 3 saves against Manchester City, along with 4 recoveries and 1 high claim. The difference in quality of opposition naturally affects the comparison. Still, Adam Cleary attempted a deeper analysis and even a basic look at Ramsdale's successful passes against Everton versus Pope's against Brentford, highlighted a stark contrast in their ability to play from the back. Pope often struggles to move the ball reliably out of his own defensive third, whereas Ramsdale can break pressure and open up attacking transitions with 1 well-placed pass. Tuesday's match against Tottenham Hotspur may ultimately provide the clearest indication of how this goalkeeper situation will evolve. Ramsdale has shown he can elevate Newcastle's build-up play in ways Pope cannot, but only a tougher test will reveal whether that advantage outweighs Pope's elite shot-stopping and long-standing trust from Howe. Then came the crowning moment of the afternoon, Chow's record-breaking performance. What he delivered at Goodison Park wasn't just dominant, it was historic. Within 55 seconds, the German centre-back rose above everyone to thunder home Lewis Miley's corner, becoming the first player since Kennedy in 2016 to score his first Premier League goal in the opening minute. Incredibly, just 2.5 hours after Phil Foden set the record for the fastest goal of the season, Chow beat it by 7 seconds. His early strike also contributed to Everton's nightmare. It was the first time since December 2018 that they had conceded 3 first-half goals at home in a Premier League match. But Chow wasn't done rewriting the script. He added a second before the break, another towering header, this time arriving unmarked at the back post to nod home with authority. That made him the first Newcastle player to score two-headed goals in a Premier League game since Jorginho Wijnaldum versus Norwich in 2015. For a defender who has rarely scored throughout his career, these were collector's items. German efficiency, delivered with a punch. Beyond the goals, Thiaw's all-round display was frightening. He posted a 9.4 match rating, played with total composure, and looked every inch like one of the first names on Eddie Howe's team sheet. His defensive metrics backed that up. 5 clearances, 4 recoveries, 1 tackle won, and he was never dribbled past. In the air, he was almost untouchable, winning 6 of his 7 aerial duels. On the ball, he was even better. 58 out of 63 passes completed, 92%, including 37 out of 38 in his own half, and 21 out of 25 in the opposition half. He also delivered 3 accurate long balls, showing a calmness in possession far beyond his years. With 71 touches, the game constantly flowed through him.
Hey guys, Malick here. Pleasure for me to score my first 2 goals for Newcastle. Amazing night. Thank you for the support. How are the lads? Let's go.
Next to him, Dan Burn looked like a completely different player back in his natural role at left centre half. This was the version of Burn Newcastle fans fell in love with. Calm, decisive, and brutally effective in the duels that mattered. He produced a 6.8 rating, made 7 clearances, 1 blocked shot, and won his only tackle of the match. Aerially, he was immense, contesting 8 duels and winning 4, while also going unbeaten on the ground and never being dribbled past. With 53 out of 61 passes completed, 87%, 76 touches, and even 2 key passes, Burn quietly became one of the biggest reasons why Ramsdale had such a comfortable afternoon. With Lewis Hall outside him, Burn finally looked settled again, and his influence showed. He created the joint most chances and delivered a welcome return to form. Then came the shining star on the left flank, Lewis Hall, who is rapidly playing himself into the conversation as potentially the best left-back Newcastle have had in the Premier League era. Everything he did oozed class. His touch, his composure, his balance, his ability to drive forward. It all transforms how Newcastle build attacks. Hall was outstanding, posting a 7.8 rating, grabbing an assist with a wicked cross, and generating 0.49 XA on his own. His defensive work was flawless. 2 out of 2 tackles, a clearance, a blocked shot, and he wasn't dribbled past once. Offensively, he was just as influential, creating 2 big chances, firing 5 crosses, 2 accurate, and completing 50 out of 56 passes, 89%, including 25 out of 31 in the opposition half. He even rattled the woodwork. With 87 touches, the 3rd most on the pitch, plus the joint most dribbles and chances created, Hall was everywhere. He even thanked Thiaw on Instagram for the goal, but truthfully it's Newcastle who should be thanking him for the service. If he stays fit, he's a revelation, and a game changer. With Hall and Livramento, Howe finally has fullbacks who can interchange with wingers and midfielders, giving Newcastle a much more fluid and controlled attacking structure. The next step will be adding more variation in the build-up and applying more pressure in the mid-block to squeeze teams earlier. As for Tino Livramento, fresh from reaching the impressive milestone of 100 Premier League appearances, while Fabian Schär hit 200, he delivered exactly the type of performance that has earned him a reputation as one of the best 1v1 defenders in the league. Up against Jack Grealish, Livramento was outstanding. He posted a 6.8 rating, led the match with 4 tackles, winning all 4 cleanly, made 5 clearances, 4 recoveries, and wasn't dribbled past once. He won 5 of 7 ground duels, made a key pass, played 2 crosses, and completed 46 out of 52 passes, 88%, including a brilliant 23 out of 24 in his own half. His 84 touches showed his importance in every phase of play. With him at right back, Newcastle look a better balanced, more secure and much more dangerous team. Then moving on to the Wonder Kid reminder. With Tonali rested, Miley delivered the kind of performance that reminded everyone why he burst onto the scene as a 17-year-old wonder kid. Gone was the overly safe passing from previous weeks, and back came the confident midfielder who stamped his authority on the match from the very first minute with the assist for Thiaw. He thoroughly deserved his goal later on, making Pickford look silly in the process, and for an away performance it doesn't get much better. In the first half alone, he completed 20 out of 22 passes, won possession 3 times, attempted 3 crosses, won 2 out of 2 duels, took 2 touches in the opposition box, created 1 chance, scored 1 goal, and provided 1 assist. By full time, he capped it with an excellent 8.6 rating, scoring 1 goal, assisting 1, finishing with 96% passing accuracy, completing 54 passes, creating 2 chances, making 12 defensive contributions, attempting 3 crosses with 3 accurate, completing 100% of his long balls, recovering the ball 8 times, and winning all 3 of his duels. It was a mature, polished display from a teenager who became the second youngest Newcastle player ever to both score and assist in a Premier League match. Bruno Guimaraes operated in a slightly deeper role and produced the kind of calm, authoritative display that knits the entire team together. He didn't need to be spectacular because those around him were shining brightly, but he still controlled the rhythm of the game and finished with the most touches of any Newcastle player. With a 7.6 rating, he completed 1 accurate cross, made 63 out of 69 passes at 91%, with 30 out of 34 accurate in the opposition half and 33 out of 35 in his own half. He hit 5 out of 6 long balls, took 90 touches, attempted 1 dribble, won 2 out of 2 tackles, made 2 interceptions, produced 4 clearances, completed 6 recoveries, and won 2 out of 5 ground duels. It was the ideal controlled showing before Howe sensibly gave him a breather for the intense festive schedule. Joelinton produced another great performance, running with purpose and bullying the Everton midfield to the point where Bunam had to be hauled off at half-time. He looked far more secure in possession, completing 46 out of 48 passes at 96%, with 18 out of 20 accurate in the opposition half and 27 out of 28 in his own half, while also completing 1 out of 1 long ball as he clearly felt the pressure being applied to his place in the starting 11. Defensively, he was reliable too, winning 1 out of 1 tackle, making 1 interception, recovering the ball 6 times, winning 2 out of 6 ground duels, winning 1 out of 3 aerial duels, and committing 1 foul. It was a powerful, confident display the Joelinton Newcastle fans love. Then Anthony Elanga produced the electric, dynamic performance fans have been waiting for, finally looking like the player Newcastle thought they were getting in the summer. His pace was a real weapon down the right-hand side, constantly stretching Everton and offering a reliable outlet on the break. He finally grabbed his first assist of the season, forced the corner that led to Thiaw's opener, and this display should serve as a genuine platform for him to kick on. Finishing with a 7.2 rating, he provided 1 assist, took 43 touches, created 1 big chance, played 1 key pass, and completed 23 of 29 passes at 79%, with 13 of 19 accurate in the opposition, half and 9 of 10 in his own half. Defensively, he contributed 2, winning 3 out of 3 tackles, making 1 recovery, winning 3 out of 8 ground duels, and producing an impressive 3 out of 3 aerial duels. This was the Elanga Newcastle needed: direct, confident, and effective. On the opposite flank, Harvey Barnes may feel disappointed not to have found himself on the score sheet, but his performance fully justified Howe's decision to start him over Gordon. He put in a tireless shift and constantly threatened, finishing with 2 total shots, 0.19 expected goals on target, 1 shot on target, 1 shot blocked, and 1 big chance missed. He might be a victim of rotation in midweek, but this was still a display that contributed heavily to Newcastle's control and threat in the attacking third. Nick Voltemade, however, was the one who truly sparkled. So many comparisons have already been made between him and Dimitar Berbatov, and his glorious, effortless lob over Pickford showed exactly why. Beyond the goal, it was his close control, composure, and vision that separated him from most strikers in the league. The way he manipulates spaces and angles is rare. He ended the match with a 7.4 rating, scoring 1 goal from 0.59 expected goals, with no assists but 0.11 expected assists, taking 2 total shots, producing 0.73 expected goals on target, hitting 2 shots on target, and adding to his all-round play with 36 touches, 2 successful dribbles from 4, and 1 key pass. In possession, he completed 16 out of 21 passes at 76%, with 13 out of 18 accurate in the opposition half, and 3 out of 3 in his own half. Simply put, Newcastle have got a seriously special player, and with 5 Premier League goals already, he has more than Gyökeres and Isak combined. who have 4 between them. Ultimately, as Andy beautifully summed it up, this was the perfect birthday gift for Eddie Howe. Newcastle's first away Premier League win of the season. 4 goals including a superb chow brace, back-to-back league victories, and a much improved performance on the road that injects real momentum heading into Spurs on Tuesday. A top night for Newcastle United. And just before you go, I'll be dropping a full piece on Voltemada later this week. But if you want to revisit the video I previously made on Newcastle's Starboy, the link should be appearing on screen now.